Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're live here on Sportswire Radio, and certainly we have a lot to get into here. I apologize for the delay, and we're going to be talking a lot about GT Ministries, and certainly a lot here with our guest because there is a lot to get into here with him shortly. He is going to be in the ring just 48 hours from now in the ring against Gareth Angel, who for now is the GT Ministries World Champion, but he's had a lot to say about that. We'll certainly get his thoughts on it, plus some merchandise here and more. So, without further ado here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show, pro wrestling star here from GT Ministries. His name is D. My friend, how are you?
Very good, thanks, Tom. Very good. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely, no question about it, and apologize there for the little short technical difficulties in the first few seconds of my intro, but that certainly does happen here as we're in a new setup for now. But Disciple, a lot to get into here, and I want to go straight to the jugular here on Sportswire Radio because obviously it was announced last week on the air when we spoke with Bluegrass's girl that is going to be coming up Wrestling Church about 48 hours or so from now. It is going to be you and Gareth Angel, a match that was supposed to be a year ago around this time right now, and it's been a long time overdue. In your comments, you said it here first on Sportswire Radio a few short months ago. You had said that you were going to be a world champion within 12 months. Well, it looks like this might be the moment. Could it be? I don't know, but for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio,
I can't hear you, Tom. It says you're on mute.
now can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Unfortunately, that's been kind of the day here so far. So to set the tables for us here again on Sportswire Radio, we'll start one more time here. Set the tables for us. It's a year in the making. You and Gareth Angel, tell us how you feel just 48 hours from now at GT Ministries in the Fountains Church in Bradford.
Do you know what, Tom? I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I said it a few months ago. I said that I'm going to be GT Ministries champion within 12 months. And you quite rightly said this has been a year in the making. The thing is with this, and it's quite an interesting story, is that a year ago, I should have had a GT Ministries championship match. Due to COVID, I couldn't make it. And what's interesting about this story is that it just shows the person that Gareth Angel is, because once I told Gareth that I couldn't make it, he sent me a message and said, "Disciple, don't worry about it. We'll get you back." I never heard from Gareth Angel until a few short months ago when he called me to fill in last minute. So do you know what? That's when my plan, my real plan was set in motion, because I thought, do you know what? You haven't wanted me for 12 months, yet all of a sudden you want me now. And that's when I thought, this is my time. This is my time to take it. I know how Gareth works, and unfortunately, he's fallen for the mind games. I've played right into the game that I wanted to play, and now Gareth has given me what I wanted, what I've always wanted, and what I'm rightfully deserved, and that's a GT Ministries Championship match this Saturday, and I'm ready for it.
Oh, I think you're definitely ready, but let me ask you this question, and I feel like I should have asked this question maybe in the past with you, and I don't think I did, so I'm going to ask you now. Do you think that Gareth Angel was ducking you all these months?
Yeah, I mean, look at the people that have been in GT Ministries. He's been a champion for a long time. Jack Johnson came in and was champion. You know, that was a good reign, but I think we all knew that Gareth was going to take the belt back. And as I've said on my socials for the past few weeks now, or past few days since we've known that this match is going to happen, I've never been more ready for a match in my entire life. This Saturday is what it's all about. I have been so driven. I've been so determined. I am ready to become GT Ministries, and I'm ready to take over GT Ministries and to take over the reins because it needs to change.
Oh, I think it's very strongly a possibility that it's going to change. And, you talk about Gareth Angel for a second, and over these past few months, and I looked at some of the different people that he stood toe to toe in the ring with. Obviously, Dan Robertson, we saw, and we saw people that weren't really up to the par that you would be. And I almost feel like, in a ways, I don't know if it was maybe he knew that if he would stand one on one with you, that maybe he wouldn't have got that title back. I mean, again, like you said, no disrespect to Jack Johnson, but we knew that that title run was on borrowed time. But I do have to almost go back here, Disciple, and feel like looking at the different people that I saw, the Maverick Matt Williams, another example, and that these weren't up to par with someone like yourself, who is the big time, who's been a champion, who's been a box office draw. So I almost still feel like, in a lot of ways, that Gareth Angel knew that if he would have crossed paths with you all these months, he wouldn't have got that title. He wouldn't have got that chance to get a crack here. I mean, what do you say toward that?
Absolutely, I think you're right, Tom. I mean, look at the opponents that Gareth's had over the last few months. I mean, no disrespect to the other guys he's fought, but they're not quite on my level.
Listen, and you said it here 4 or 5 months ago. You said Disciple is back. It's a new and improved Disciple. It's a different thing. You took up some time off. Different things went on. But at the end of the day, my friend, you're here with a purpose. You're here with the passion. It's not like in the past. And I think at the end of the day, looking at you right now, I don't know if Gareth Angel knows what he has coming to him. I really don't.
No, I don't think he's ready. I think he's probably overestimated me, and underestimated me and what I'm capable of. And I cannot wait to get in that ring just to prove him wrong, to change GT Ministries. We've all had enough of Gareth Angel. We've all had enough of how GT Ministries is with him as champion. Like I said, it's going to change. The landslide of GT Ministries is going to change this Saturday.
Oh, I think there's a very strong possibility with that here, and what a card it's going to be here at GT Ministries Wrestling Church at the Fountains Church in Bradford, coming up here Saturday evening, afternoon time here in New York. When I'll be watching, it'll be about 1:30 or so Eastern time, and about 2 o'clock with the first matches and everything else. We're going with the festivities. And for more information on GT Ministries, you can go to GT Ministries UK on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and even TikTok. And of course, Disciple, you need to follow at Disciple Wrestler, also Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube as well, because I have a feeling that this is going to be a big, big weekend. Disciple, let me ask you this question. I know you've been a world champion before. I know you've been in main events. You've been in movies. We've spoken about that. But walk me through these next 48 hours. Is this going to be a different 48 hours for you than, let's say, in the past or anything else where you've been before to a big title match? I mean, talk to me about your thoughts on that.
Well, the goal's always been the same. It's always been to become the best in any company that I've gone to be the number one guy. And then that doesn't change this Saturday. Like you said, I'm more determined. I've come back. I feel better. I feel stronger. I feel bigger. I'm more determined than I ever was before, and I just can't wait. And I'm laser focused for this Saturday. And like I said, I think Gareth Angel doesn't really know what he's got himself in for.
No, I don't think he knows for sure, because certainly, again, the motivation that you have here and everything else that's going on here, and certainly going right to the jugular and just basically saying, you know what, where's my title shot? And Gareth Angel ducking you. I mean, you have to have personal motivation here because of the fact that you didn't hear from him from all this time. I mean, that's kind of rare. I would think with somebody to the stature of a Gareth Angel, I would think that he would want to say, you know what, let's see who's the better man. I mean, for me, if it was in my position, Disciple, I would have to have thought that Gareth Angel would have said, you know what, I owe you one, Disciple. But you're saying no, and that's kind of, I think certainly might speak well to the fact that you've got a lot of personal motivation here once again coming up.
Yeah, like I say, he's played into my hands. I thought if there's going to be a time to be GT Ministries champion, it's going to be now. As soon as he picked up that phone and called me and said, Disciple, I need you. I need you to face Bentley. I need someone reliable. I thought, this is it. This is my time to shine. This is my chance to get in.
And we've heard from, speaking of which, we have heard from the current GT Ministries World Champion, and his name is Gareth Angel. And Mr. Angel has certainly responded in kind here, Disciple. And I'm going to certainly get your thoughts here. And he says, I find your angle here really interesting. You say I was ducking you. I wasn't champion when you returned, but I publicly said once I was champion again, you would get the first shot. And here we are. What's your response toward that?
Do you know what? I actually find it quite funny because I think Gareth has already made his mind up that he's going to win this match. Let me take you back to Chronicle when he had that interview with Blue Glasses Girl. Once he won the title, he did quite rightly say that I was going to be the first in line for the championship. But then he also said, and then I've got all these other people afterwards to defend my title. So he practically just pushed me aside and assumed that he's going to win the match. I mean, that's one thing that you don't do is you don't underestimate me and what I'm capable of.
Especially you. And that's an interesting point in the fact that he's almost assuming that there's a long list of people that he's made up in his mind, and he's basically dismissing you. And that's kind of surprising because they always say the first title defense is the toughest title defense. So that's why I'm surprised that Mr. Angel would say something like that. And especially to the fact that, again, look at what you have done. Look at your stature. Look at the shape that you're in. I mean, I don't know there, Disciple. I mean, I don't know there.
So I'm ready for this, and like I say, Gareth can say all he wants about giving people shots and stuff. Like I said in that interview, Blue Glasses Girl, he pretty much said that he's going to beat me because he said there's a long line of contenders after me that he's going to beat. So he's automatically assumed that he's going to win the match. It doesn't work like that. And I have said, and I'll put it on record, that I will do whatever it takes to become GT Ministries champion, whatever it takes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I heard something here that's different than what we've heard Disciples say in the past. He just said here for us on Sportswire Radio, for those that are listening on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and on sportnarium.com/player, he will do whatever it takes, whatever that may be, wherever I may roam, whatever it might be. Johnny Cash could certainly be singing a tune here as to why Disciple could do whatever it takes to get his hands on arguably the most prized possession in all of wrestling, all of sports, that GTM World Championship here. So something tells me here, I don't know what Disciple has up his sleeve. I don't know what that means, but I would certainly want to tune in. Coming up here at the Fountains Church in Bradford. Tickets are still available. Also, you can go to Facebook, YouTube, and watch the show, which I'll be doing here in the New York area. And I will say this to you, Disciple. I'm going to give you some advice. Don't tell us what you're going to do to get that title, because you know that Mr. Angel's watching this right now. You know that people in the back are going to be watching this. You know that people around the world are going to be watching this. So my advice would be is don't tell us what you're going to do, because somebody out there will definitely take note of that, and especially Mr. Angel himself. And I want to ask you this question, and I don't know how you'll answer it, but I'll answer it to you because I always ask this before a title match, especially for you, because you've been a world champion. You've been in these big main events before. And have you thought about the last time you were a world champion and thought about those experiences and thought about maybe what you do differently or maybe what you do to have gotten you to where you were in the past going into Saturday? Or walk me through your thoughts on that.
I mean, it's been a few years since I was champion, but I think I'm more mature now. I'm more seasoned. I'm a seasoned veteran now in this business, and I've got more ring savvy, and I'm more aware of what it takes to become a champion. I think it can be taken for granted when you're champion, but at the end of the day, when you're a champion, you're the number one guy. You've got a target on your back because every top wrestler will be coming for that title, and I am fully prepared to be that man.
Let me ask you this question. What did you learn from the last time you were a world champion going into this?
I learned not to trust anybody. Like I said, once you've got that title, everybody wants a piece of you, whether it's your friends, whether it's your foes, it could be anybody. Don't trust anybody. And I certainly will not be trusting anyone.
Well, I'll tell you what, again, I could not think of a better reason than to tune in to GT Ministries Wrestling Church here in Bradford coming up. We have a great card. We have Jack Johnson and Rarebit. It's a double main event. You don't even need any other matches because you got Jack Johnson and Rarebit. We know Jack Johnson was the former GTM champion. We have Rarebit, who was the former BTW champion, and Disciple was in the ring with him not too long ago. And then, of course, the main event itself here, which is going to be Gareth Angel, the current champion, and Disciple himself here. And Mr. Angel has responded once again, so let me give you his comments so I can get your thoughts on it here. And he says, I never underestimate my opponents. Disciple vs. Angel is a main event anywhere in the country. I have scouted you. I've been watching tape, talking to your former opponents. I'm ready for a fight. I mean, what do you make of that? Talking to former opponents of yours?
Looks like he's trying to do everything he can to keep that little title of his. Little does he know how prepared I am for this. I've been waiting 12 months to get my hands on Gareth. I have been waiting 12 long months to get my hands on that title. So he can prepare as much as he wants because he knows that he's scared of what I'm about to do on Saturday. Gareth is scared. So that's why he's trying to over-prepare because he knows what's coming.
And I have a comment from somebody else here that tuned in, and let me bring them on. And he says, obviously, somebody that's joined us here over the past few streams, Michael MKL Dinero Knowles. I hope I got your last name right this time. And he says, there's always a target on your back when you're on top. I'm tipping my hat to you. I mean, that's kind of, I think, what you've said tonight, that Gareth Angel doesn't realize he's got the target on his back. You know, he can't assume and easily brush you off. I mean, you've been a main event star. You've been in there with the Knight family. You've been in there with the Ronin Brian Anderson, the Playboy Prince Lance Rivera, a world champion in Russell Allen. I mean, you have been in there with big names. That's why I'm almost surprised to think that Mr. Angel would not realize the target's on his back. And I think this might be the biggest target he's had yet in the first defense with you because, again, this is a match 12 months in the making. And you know, Disciple, sometimes they say when you have something like that that's pent-up rage that's built inside for so long, it's almost like spontaneous combustion. It's just going to burst at any given moment. And I feel like, Disciple, you might be that spontaneous combustion that's going to be the wrecking crew-like style that could very well lead you back to the promised land Saturday night.
Absolutely, Tom. Listen, I've never been more ready for a fight in all my life. And it is going to be a fight. Like I said, I will do whatever it takes to be champion. Whether that is to the pleasure of the crowd or not, I don't give a damn. I want that title. This is 12 months in the making. I've been wanting to get my hands on Gareth for a long, long time now. And I think he knows his time is up.
Well, we'll certainly find out if the clock is ticking. And, of course, you said famously on your Instagram, Disciple Russell, where people can find out more information on all the great things you do. TikTok, Gareth Angel. And last I checked, it's almost kind of like the New Year's Eve clock, or maybe the leadership in the Prime Minister's position. I mean, that's pretty much the way it could be. I mean, Gareth Angel and whoever the Tories pick for Prime Minister, their time is running out. Will Gareth Angel be that way? I don't know. But Mr. Angel does have a comment here, and he says, also, we both have Rarebit stalking in the shadows. I've had to over-prepare because I know what you're capable of. What do you make of that response? And obviously, Rarebit's somebody you've been in the ring with. He wound up winning the Stairway to Heaven match for the briefcase here, kind of in the match that we saw at the last show at Chronicles. I mean, what do you make of those comments there?
I mean, Gareth is absolutely right. Rarebit is literally stalking in the background. He's got that briefcase where he can cash in at any moment. So I'm fully aware of what Rarebit's got. I'm fully aware of his capabilities. Rarebit is a monster. He's an absolute beast. I've been in the ring with him. I've been hit by him. And I've also hit him, and I've also given him a Salvation Spine Buster as well.
I think, and by the way, best spine buster in the business, by the way.
Thank you. Make sure you tell Remus Kane that as well.
Well, we're going to be, I'm sure, speaking with somebody that might be able to relay a message to Mr. Kane tomorrow night live on Sportswire Radio. So that might be something we can actually do here. So we'll find out for sure. And Michael here has another comment for us. And Think of it this way. Gareth Angel was in the position Austin Aries was in many years ago, and he beat Bobby Roode years ago, and no one said he could do it, but he did. Should be a good match, though. Best to the both of you. I mean, that's pretty much that's a fair point. Obviously, Austin Aries was the TNA champion. I think he's referring to when he won the title there. So that is a fair point. I could certainly see where he's coming from with that here. And we're on Sportswire Radio with Pro Wrestling Star Disciple, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. And if you like what you hear from us on Sportswire Radio, do give us a like on Facebook at Sportswire Radio, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can listen to all of our content on sportnarium.com/player. And also, we'll be back tomorrow night. Speaking of people that might be able to relay a message with Remus Kane, that would be Joshua Snow in Nonstop Action Wrestling. So certainly they have All Hallows Eve coming up Saturday night as well. So it's a busy time for a pro wrestling fan like myself. You got All Hallows Eve, you got Wrestling Church. I mean, can't ask for anything better than that. So certainly Sportswire Radio is where you're going to be tuning in for more wrestling coverage tomorrow night. Joshua Snow. But right now we are here with the number one contender to the GT Ministries Championship. His name is Disciple. And Disciple, I noticed that you have a shirt on that I'm pretty interested in, and it says Disciple Wrecking Crew on it, and I'm pretty sure this is the new shirt that has been the rage of social media, the talk of the wrestling world, and fill us in on that, and also maybe how we can get a shirt, because I know I want to get one here by the end of the month.
Absolutely. The Wrecking Crew t-shirts of Disciple are available now. They have literally been flying off the shelves. You can get yours, a Big Cartel Disciple Wrestler. I mean, I can't thank the amount of people that have bought the shirts already, which is incredible. They obviously want to be part of the Wrecking Crew. They know what I'm capable of. They know what's coming in the future for me. So there's only one way to go, and that's join the Wrecking Crew.
I think Bon Scott famously saying it might be a long way to the top, but I think it's going to be a long way until you get a Disciple shirt, because I think you're going to want to join into that, because people always like a winner. People always like people that are definitely at the top here. So I am very, very excited about the shirt, for sure, to say the least. And look at the design, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, that is as good a design as you are going to get out there. So certainly make sure, one more time, plug that website for us.
Big Cartel Disciple Wrestler. All the links are on my socials, Facebook, Instagram. It's all on there.
Absolutely looking forward to that. And I did want to ask you actually about Nonstop Action Wrestling very briefly. Obviously, different things there. I won't ask you so much on Tommy Dillon and his run as champion, because obviously we're focused here on Mr. Angel and certainly how that'll go. But do you have any plans, maybe anything in the future? Any thoughts on what's going on in Nonstop Action Wrestling there, or just anything watching from afar?
Absolutely. I mean, I've always got my finger in a lot of pies, Tom. I'm a busy man. I like to keep busy. I like to know what's going on. Listen, when you become when you're at the top of the game, all you want to do is be the best in any company that you go to. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about Tommy Dillon. I've been watching Tommy Dillon. I've been watching NSAW. Tommy's talking about, step up if you want this title. Now, I went down to NSAW a few weeks back and ran a training session, and I was looking for Tommy Dillon. I was there ready to step up and take that title, and guess what? He wasn't there.
Wait. Slow down, because I'm going to ask Joshua Snow about this tomorrow night. So I'm going to ask him about this here. This is a good segue. So you're telling me now not one, but two world champions have been avoiding you. I mean, what's up with that?
Exactly. Like I say, Tommy Dillon, don't get me wrong, he's a great guy. Got a lot of respect for him. He's been a great world-class champion. But if you're going to be running your mouth saying, step up, I'm here. I was there. I was at NSAW. I run a training session. I was looking for Tommy. I was waiting for Tommy because I was there and I was ready to step up and I was ready to take that world-class championship.
It seems to me, and I don't want to spend too much time with, because I want to come back to Gareth Angel here for the rest of the segment and obviously speak about that, because GT Ministries is certainly a company that we do a lot of great work with. But Tommy Dillon is a part of GT Ministries. And why do you think that somebody like a Tommy Dillon would go about it that way? Is it because inexperience as a champion? Is it because competition? Because it seems to me that I would think, and he's always talked about being a fighting champion, unbreakable, and all these different things. And yet, I mean, you're a guy that I would think that a lot of people would pay a lot of pounds and a lot of tickets would be sold to go see you and him in the ring. I mean, what do you make of that?
Again, very similar to Gareth Angel. I've been wanting to get my hands on Tommy Dillon one-on-one for a very long time now. Wrestling for Kirkwood Hospice, we had a match a couple of years back, but that was a six-man tag match. I just want to get my hands on Tommy Dillon. I want to be that world-class champion at NSAW, because it's all well and good saying step up, but if you're not ready when the big boys come to town, you're not ready at all.
And I would also think that it's called the world-class champion, right? The world-class title. And I would think that you would want a world-class champion. What better world-class champion holder or title holder would be Disciple? So I think a lot of people would want to see about that. But you know what, Disciple? I don't even know if Tommy Dillon's going to still be a champion by the weekend. He's got his own issues. So I don't even know if we'll be talking about Tommy Dillon. So I'll let him answer those questions. I'll certainly speak with Joshua Snow about that for sure here tomorrow night on Sportswire Radio. But I also did want to ask you, coming back to GT Ministries for a second, before I get to Gareth Angel again here for the rest of the show. In the documentary, obviously, everybody's talked about that. I know you've been a part of GT Ministries for a long time, and we had Blue Glasses Girl on last week, who obviously, famously, you did the interview with, obviously, backstage, where it kind of led to where we are right now. And what was your impressions of the documentary on GT Ministries, and if you had a chance to watch it, and tell us what you think about that here on Sportswire Radio.
I did watch it. I absolutely did. Let's put rivalries aside for a second.
Sure.
What GTM stands for and what it does for the community and for people within the wrestling business and wanting to get in the wrestling business is absolutely fantastic. Let's not take that away from them. They do a fantastic job. As said in the documentary, that you don't have to go there to become a wrestler. You can go there and do different things. You can be a commentator. You can be a backstage interviewer. You can be a referee. You can be all these kind of things. And wrestling is for everyone. It is for everyone. It's a fantastic sport. It's great entertainment to be a part of. The people in wrestling are some of the best people I know, and I'm very close friends with a lot of great wrestlers. So GTM, like I say, rivalries aside, and my feelings for Gareth Angel on a professional level are separate from this, but from a personal point of view and what they do is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely, no question about it. And speaking here of people that are tuned in, let's go first with our very good friend, Blue Glasses Girl, who obviously gives you a emoji. Also says, "Hey, Disciple." Also says, "So looking forward to Saturday's show." That means two of us, Blue Glasses Girl, because I'll be watching live here in New York on YouTube, of course, at GT Ministries UK, or on Facebook at GT Ministries UK. And also want to give a shout out to this individual who you know a little bit about from Nonstop Action Wrestling. Says, "Good luck on your match with Angel." So that's nice, kind words there. We appreciate that. We know who this individual is. We wish him luck as well on his match, which we'll be speaking about tomorrow night with Joshua Snow. And I did want to give another big shout out to Blue Glasses Girl Disciple, because I think that she's the best in the business. I think when it comes to her interviews, her energy, everything that she does, you might give me kind words, but nobody compares to Blue Glasses Girl. She's all over the place. She's in newspapers. She's in interviews. I mean, she's really a superstar. So Blue Glasses Girl is definitely one of our favorites. And please follow Blue Glasses Girl on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Glasses Girl UK. Make sure you follow her. She is definitely somebody that we want to be up to date with and all the great things. We'll definitely bring her back here on Sportswire Radio. I want to ask you this question, going back to Gareth Angel, before I get a couple more thoughts here on Sportswire Radio for the last 10 or 15 minutes. And I always like to ask this question. I'm sure you probably heard this in the past, but what would it mean to you to be the GT Ministries World Heavyweight Champion?
Everything. It's something that I've been determined to become for a long time now. Like I said, this match with Gareth Angel was 12 months in the making. I've been wanting to get my hands on him for a while. Since I've gone back to GTM, it just needs a change. The regime needs to change, and I am there to do that. I am changing the landslide of GTM, and I will do it on Saturday. And like I said, I will do whatever it takes to become that guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've heard something that's a recurring theme here tonight. Whatever it takes. Pay attention to that tonight. Whatever it takes, because Disciples had a different tone with us here on Sportswire Radio. It's a very, very different point of view what he's just said. He said, whatever it takes. I have a feeling here, Disciple, and tell me your thoughts on it. I have a feeling that this might be one of the or if not, the biggest match of your career coming up against Gareth Angel? What do you think?
No doubt. Absolutely, no doubt. One of the biggest matches, if not the biggest match of my career. One of my heavyweight championship reign from a few years ago was very short lived. But like I say, I'm in a better place now. I'm a better person. I'm a better wrestler. I'm a better fighter. And I'm more prepared now than I was then. I am so driven. I am laser focused on this match.
And I kind of feel like that in some ways, and I know Gareth Angel came in here a little while ago and had some comments, but I almost feel like that you've actually got the advantage here. And let me tell you why I think that. Because you've talked about whatever it takes. You've talked about the fact this is 12 months of pent-up rage. You talked about the fact that in the past few months in GT Ministries, you and him didn't really cross paths. I kind of feel like that in some ways. Tell me your thoughts. And I'm going back to my days taking psychology class in college. I actually think you're in his head. I actually think the mind games here are advantage Disciple, because at the end of the day, Gareth Angel is dismissed you. Gareth Angel didn't message you back. Gareth Angel didn't cross paths with you. I think deep down, and this happens all the time, you see it in wrestling, you see it in sports, you see it in boxing, especially all the time, that I think Gareth Angel deep down knows that one-on-one, you and him, he's in trouble.
You damn.
And ladies and gentlemen, I think we may have lost Disciple. There we go.
I'm here.
There we
I'm
go.
here. I'm here.
God. Yeah, so I kind of think, Disciple, that the numbers speak for themselves. The mind games and the psychology right now are advantage you. Because again, 12 months have gone up. You have pent-up rage here for 12 months. He's ducked you. He hasn't responded to you. He didn't cross paths with you. So I feel like at the end of the day right now, the mind games are Disciple 1, Gareth Angel 0.
Tom, the mind game started as soon as I put the phone down to Gareth for the Bentley match. That's when it started. That's when this whole plan, when my plan started to evolve. Because for the last 5-6 months that I've been in GTM, I've been planning this all along. I've been planting seeds along the way. And Gareth has fallen for every single one of them. He's given me exactly what I wanted. I knew for a fact that as soon as he's going to win that title, I knew from what he's promised before that I was going to be the first person to challenge a title. And that's the silliest mistake that he could have made.
And I think going back off the mind games here, you have him right where you want him, because don't forget, he and Jack Johnson literally had a war. I mean, that was a bloodbath. I mean, what those two guys did to each other, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you've got him right where you want him, because listen, you went through a lot in the Stairway to Heaven match, but you didn't go nowhere near with what Gareth Angel went through to get that title back. I mean, I even have to wonder, how much does he even have left? You might have him right where you want him.
Listen, Tom, it's all part of the plan. I knew exactly what I was doing every single step of the way. I'm not stupid, Tom. I've been in this business a long, long time. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know when I'm going to do it, how I'm going to do it, and how it's going to play out. And that is this Saturday, I will become the new GT Ministries heavyweight champion, and Gareth Angel will be wiped off the face of the earth.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we've had Jack Johnson on in the past. We've had on a whole lot of people here that have come on to Sportswire Radio and said different things about Gareth Angel. Some of them probably were punching above their weight class. Some of them probably didn't have any business being in the ring, you might want to say. But it's different when Disciple says something. When Disciple speaks, I stand back and I listen. When Disciple says that he might wipe Gareth Angel off the face of the earth, I would certainly want to tread very lightly if I'm Mr. Angel, and I would certainly want to pay close attention to every move that Disciple makes, and most importantly, these last 48 hours as champion, I would certainly want to look at the clock and could it be tick, tock, tick, tock? I don't know, but I don't know what much you can do, Gareth Angel, because something tells me here the Disciple Wrecking Crew is like nothing else that you've been in the ring here on Sportswire Radio. And And I want to ask you these last couple of questions here, because obviously I know you're a busy man. You're getting ready for training. You're getting ready for a whole lot here. It could be a different landscape. By the time we speak with you next time out, it could very well be a whole different landscape here in GT Ministries. But I do want to ask you in terms of, give me one or two thoughts to anyone that's coming Saturday night to the Fountains Church in Bradford that's going to see you and Gareth Angel.
I would say be prepared for what you're about to see, because it's not going to be pretty. And it's a good job we're in a church, because everyone is going to be wanting to pray for Gareth Angel and his career.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen here. Certainly sign of the cross and prayers could very well be needed. Will we need to call a priest? I don't know. Stay tuned. And we have a comment here from somebody else that says, let's go disciple. Hashtag Ginger Jesus. So could we see that? I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting interesting here. It's getting loud. It's getting crazy here. So this is going to be a main event. You know what? We spoke about a lot of main events here on Sportswire Radio. But I got a feeling Disciple and Gareth Angel is going to be worth the price of admission. It's going to be worth whatever you have to do to get to the Fountains Church here in Bradford. And Mr. Angel has responded here, which I kind of feel like might be very well his final thoughts here. He says, sounds like you're both dismissing me here. I'll see you Saturday, disciple. I'm ready. I mean, I'm no one's dismissing anybody here. But I'll tell you one thing. Could disciple have been dismissed? That's the big question. Not so much about Gareth Angel being dismissed. Is it? The question begs, was disciple been dismissed? That's the question we're going to find out here at the Fountains Church in Bradford. And Michael says, believe me, if I could be there, I would, but I have a date for All Hallows Eve. But this is what you need to do, Michael. Let me tell you what you need to do. You need to find a way. So you go to All Hallows Eve, but here's what you do. You have a phone here. You go on your phone, and you go on Facebook. You go to GT Ministries UK, is what you're going to do. You're going to go to GT Ministries UK. Here you go. Here's the link for you. GT Ministries UK. You're going to simultaneously watch All Hallows Eve and Wrestling Church, so that way you can be at two places at the same time. That's how you're going to solve your problem there, Michael. So you can actually watch both at the same time. And in fact, what I'm going to be doing, I mean, we'll see about All Hallows Eve, but I'm going to be watching right here on my laptop. And Michael actually says that's a good plan. So I told you, Michael, you listen to us here on Sportswire Radio. This is what we do. We make sure we connect you with the hottest, the most important, and the biggest wrestlers around the world. Disciple and Gareth Angel right now are the biggest wrestlers in the world right now. Let me get here. It's allergy season. My apologies. Let's get to Ty Harper's comment. A question for the champion to be. Boy, we'll certainly find out. Once you hold the GTM championship, who would you like to defend that title against first, outside of a Gareth Angel rematch? That's an excellent question. I hadn't thought about that. What do you think, Disciple?
I definitely want to get my hands on Bentley and smash his face in again.
Wow.
The outcome wasn't what I wanted, but I know that with the momentum, and if I do become champion, which we all know I'm gonna be, but if I am gonna be champion, I want to get my hands on Bentley and grab him around the scrawny little neck.
I feel like, and we've had you guys on together at the same time simultaneously. We had him on, I want to say, maybe right after Chronicles, after he had defeated Jack Barron. But I feel like that, just like in a lot of ways, there's unfinished business between you and Gareth Angel. There's most certainly even more unfinished business between you and him, because you're the guy that was in his first main event of his career. I would say the run that Bentley has had, and I've said this here before with you, is really in part because of you, Disciple. There would be no Bentley without Disciple. I think it's a pretty fair thing to say.
Absolutely. I pushed him where he is now, and he is very welcome for that.
Well, I'll certainly say that this Disciple somewhere, Bentley will be listening and watching to this, and something tells me that Bentley will be back on Sportswire Radio to have a few cents or two on it. And Mr. Angel also wants to remind me that you can go to gtministries.co.uk and has all our previous events, the BBC documentary, radio and TV appearances, merchandise, and much, much more. Absolutely. Make sure you get all of your GT Ministries shirts. Obviously, I'm looking forward to owning a Disciple shirt. And Disciple, you gotta DM me because unfortunately Big Cartel doesn't ship to the United States. So we have to figure out something in the next week or so. I know you're busy right now with Wrestling Church and maybe taking this title, but certainly after that, we have to find a way because I really want to wear that shirt. Because I tell you something, if you are a wrestling fan right now, look at that shirt right now, Disciple Wrecking Crew. Forget about Roman Reigns and his shirt. Forget about Drew McIntyre's shirt. Forget about Seth Rollins' shirt, Becky Lynch's The Man shirt. That's the premier shirt in wrestling right now. That's the shirt that I want to get. That's the shirt that I want to be wearing on Sportswire Radio each and every time that we're on the. I've got a Ronaldo shirt underneath, but I can't wait to get that Disciple shirt and wear that next time we have the champion on here. And also, I want to give a shout out to Breakout Pro Wrestling, which says Evening Gents. Breakout Pro Wrestling. I guess, do you know Breakout Pro Wrestling at all? Do you know anything about them? Or I should say, plead the
I know a little bit about Breakout Pro Wrestling, and all I will say is keep your eyes peeled.
Okay. So, yes, don't incriminate yourself. Don't say, I always tell everybody all the time, don't say anything that you'll regret. I was actually on the phone with somebody that's one of our listeners, and he wanted to reveal something to me. And I said, I'm going to do you a favor. I said, I'm going to be straight up and straight to the point. Don't tell me what it is, because that means when I know it, that means everyone else is going to know it, and that's going to spoil the surprise. So whatever it might be with Breakout Pro Wrestling, whatever that comes with it, we're happy to cover it on Sportswire Radio. Anything we can do to support Breakout Pro Wrestling, that we'll definitely do. But definitely don't tell us what the plans are here, because that means that everybody else will know the plans, and the plans will be spoiled. But I want to ask you this question here before closing thoughts here tonight. Obviously, it has been a tremendous honor as always, and it feels like a different Disciple than the Disciple that we've usually had here on Sportswire Radio. And Disciple, I want to ask you then, what's your final thoughts or anything further that you want to say toward Gareth Angel before Saturday night at the Fountains Church in Bradford?
Listen, I know Gareth is gonna bring everything he can. I know that he's watched tapes, he's messaging people, previous opponents that I've fought against. I know for a fact he's gonna try and go all out to beat me. The thing is, and the difference between me and Gareth, as I've said it many times in this interview, I will do whatever it takes. And I don't think Gareth Angel will go the lengths that I will go to become GT Ministries champion. I will do whatever it takes, and I will bend any rules and break any rules that I have to become the champion that GT Ministries deserves.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Ozzy Osbourne famously sang, "Breaking all the rules." Will Disciple break all the rules in order to become the GT Ministries World Champion? I don't know. But I know one thing. He said here tonight, pay attention to these words, whatever it takes. And he will wipe Gareth Angel off the face of the earth. Those are the clues tonight on Sportswire Radio that I would pay very close attention to. And again, these are reasons why you want to go to GT Ministries UK on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and even TikTok as well. Also, Disciple Wrestler on Facebook, Instagram. Disciple is on Twitter as well. Make sure you follow Disciple on Twitter. You can also follow him on YouTube, where you can watch prior matches, information, all types of stuff that I would highly recommend. You can also follow him on Twitter at BTP_Disciple. So please make sure you follow Disciple for all the great things that he does, because you never know where you see him next, and this very well could be a different Disciple 48 hours from now. He could be holding gold, and that'll certainly see here. And I've got another comment here from somebody that is actually, before we're about to get out of here, one of our very good friends. It's a professional wrestling star here in the United States, from our friends over at Wrestling Championship Entertainment, who are going to have their own upcoming show here that's been streamed. It's going to be, I think, just about an hour or so. It's going to air on YouTube. You can find it at WCE Heat on YouTube, as well as WCEHeat.com as Wrestling Championship Entertainment's Fight or Fright Part 1. And that is Nicholas Crenton here. And Nicholas Crenton says, if you are fighting for a title and not doing whatever it takes to win the title, you're doing it wrong. I tell you what, Disciple, I think that Nicholas Crenson knows a thing or two about being the main events. I just saw him in an Iron Man match with James Marshall in Wrestling Championship Entertainment. That was a really damn good match, and he knows a thing or two about winning big matches, and he's been a big star with us, and he knows a thing or two. And I think that, Disciple, you've kind of had the same thoughts here tonight. So I think that's something that we've all
Absolutely.
agreed on, and I can't wait for the future. And obviously, want to give you the floor. I want to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, say? And I turn it over to you, my friend, and the floor is yours.
As always, Tom, I just want to say thank you for giving me the time, the opportunity to speak and obviously put across and promote this match. It is going to be a big match. It's going to be the biggest match of my career, no doubt. It's going to be a big match of Gareth Angel's career. We're going to put it all on the line. At the end of the day, there's going to be one champion and one champion only. Gareth might think it's going to be him. But as I've said before, I will do whatever it takes, and I will go to the lengths that no other man will go to become champion. It's going to be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, forget about Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Forget about the whole dispute with CM Punk and Jon Moxley. Forget about Kenny Omega. Forget about Jacob Fatu. Forget about any champion that you see in any territory around the world right now. The match that everyone is going to be talking about will be Saturday night at the Fountains Church in Bradford for the GT Ministries World Heavyweight Championship. It'll be Gareth Angel, the current champion, against Disciple, the number one contender. And will it be by whatever it takes? Will it be by hook and cranny? Something tells me that Disciple, looking at the size of him, looking at the shape he's in, I don't think he's going to need to cheat and break too many rules because he said pretty much what he's needed to say here on Sportswire Radio. One more time, Disciple Wrestler on Facebook, on Instagram, BTP_Disciple. And also want to give a shout out here to somebody that is also a part of things over at Wrestling Championship Entertainment. And we'll be having more coverage of Wrestling Championship Entertainment between next week and the following week on Sportswire Radio, as their Fighter Fright is coming out here later this evening on their YouTube channel at Wrestling Championship Entertainment, WCE Heat on Facebook, where you can get more information. And this individual might be otherwise known as Craven Rage, says, true facts spoken by a great warrior. So even in America, even in other companies right now, they're rooting for Disciple. Right now in the United States, there are people that have watched and listened to this. And you know what? We want Disciple. We call him a great warrior. We call him a true gentleman. And I think right now, the people are behind Disciple. I think fellow wrestlers, fellow comrades, they've spoken tonight on what they see and what they've heard. And that's why they're going to be tuning in. GT Ministries UK coming up Saturday, Fountains Church, Saturday afternoon, New York time, Wisconsin time for our friends over at Wrestling Championship Entertainment. Also, evening time, YouTube, Facebook, doors open 6:30, 7 o'clock is where we'll see all the festivities. And my friend, go get him out there. I hope to speak with you, or it's a different run. It's going to be a championship run, and you like it on the shoulder or you like it on your waist?
I'm a shoulder guy all the way.
You look like a shoulder guy. You look like somebody that would not be a waist wearer. You look like The Rock, where The Rock would have it on the waist. You don't look like a shoulder guy. Hulk Hogan was a shoulder guy and a waist guy, but you're just pretty much straight up a that's it. So I definitely look forward to seeing all that here. So I can't thank you enough, my friend. Go get him out there. Looking forward to seeing all of it here unfold and more, and we'll definitely speak with you next time. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in here on Sportswire Radio. If you're on sportnarium.com/player, you go back to your regularly scheduled programming. And if you're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn, you will be with us back here, I would imagine, tomorrow night on Sportswire Radio with Mr. Joshua Snow. We'll speak nonstop action wrestling All Hallows Eve, and then Wildfire Nate Reese afterwards to speak about his match for the LWF Tag Team Championship at October Overload against Synergy's Jack Roberts and Anderson Daniels. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here on the number one global radio station. I am the host of the Sports Report and the station manager of Sportswire Radio, the Reverend